So I was diagnosed when I was 12 years old.
Jason Momoa. It's Jason Momoa.
It is amazing to see all the things that students can get involved with on campus. To Ali Martinez's new role here at Simpson.
This year, we're starting a new segment. Let's take a look at some highlights. Welcome back to SCTV. I'm Rob Howes.
And I'm Kennedy Moore.
We have a bit of a shorter episode this week, but we still have some great stories to share about what's going on around campus.
November is National Diabetes Awareness Month, and Jalynn Goodale did a feature for us this week to take a closer look at what that means.
I went into urgent care for something completely different. And while I was there, my mom asked them to check my blood sugar because I had been having kind of all like the normal symptoms. So like super thirsty, going to the bathroom a lot, losing weight. And when they checked my blood sugar, it was so high that like the monitor couldn't even read it. So I ended up like going to Children's and I spent the night there. And from there on, it like all moved pretty fast. I got in with an endocrinologist and they were really helpful. But I was diagnosed with type 1. So that just means that my pancreas, which is an organ in your body, it doesn't make insulin anymore. So it's an autoimmune disease where for some reason my immune system attacked my pancreas and now it doesn't produce insulin anymore. It's a little bit different from type 2, which is the other kind that most people think about, which is where it's insulin resistance. That usually comes from like more like lifestyle stuff. Yeah, but I've been doing gymnastics since I was like 5. So I was actually doing gymnastics for quite a while before I got diagnosed. I think I will say that like when I was first diagnosed, it was such a big part of my life that had changed that like gymnastics sort of took a backseat for a little while, which was strange for me because it's been like my #1 priority my whole life. But definitely like those first few months, learning how to deal with like low blood sugars in the gym, high blood sugars, like how to bolus, how to eat, how to do all the things that you don't really think about like when you're just living, that was really difficult. And I remember practices I would have where like I would spend the whole practice like 4 hours like low blood sugar, like sweating, shaking, and I just like was so frustrated. I never doubted myself that I could do college sports. Like I had it for long enough before college that I was pretty confident in my ability to manage it. Like I knew I could do it. Being able to overcome that like during middle school, high school, like I think gave me the confidence to be like, I can go to college and I can do it, live the way I know, even though sometimes it is frustrating. I'll say that most days I kind of like eat the same things every single day, like at the same times, just because I know how much to bolus for, like what my corrections should look like, what I can expect my blood sugars to do. So I'm not very adventurous with food. I usually put my insulin pump on like activity mode. So there's a special mode you can put it on where it like decreases your basal rate, which is like how much insulin you're getting per hour. It like decreases it so that when you're doing physical activity, you're less likely to drop, like your blood sugar is less likely to drop. And then I have a continuous glucose monitor. So if I do go low or high, like while I'm sleeping, it'll make an alarm. It'll beep at me and wake me up for sure. So basically when you eat a meal that has like carbohydrates in it, right? Someone who doesn't have diabetes, their pancreas will produce insulin. Insulin helps the sugar from the carbs go from your bloodstream into your tissues. So since I don't have insulin, the blood sugar, like the sugar in my blood just gets stuck in my blood and rises. So I have an insulin pump. And then you give yourself what's called a bolus, which is like a specific amount of insulin based on how many carbs you're eating. So like if I'm having a piece of bread, right, that's like 15-ish carbs. I have a bunch of like presets on my insulin pump that will calculate for me how much insulin I should take based on that and what my blood sugar is. And then it'll give it to me. And then usually you want to do what's called like a pre-bolus. So it's like 10 to 15 minutes before you actually eat, you do that so that insulin can start working before you eat so you don't spike as much. Sometimes it's kind of hard to remember to pre-bolus, especially with like school and stuff, but you gotta have a special thing on my pump. It's called like automated mode. So it actually like communicates with my CGM. And then if my blood sugar is going high, it'll give me more basal. If it's going low, it'll stop. So that was really, really helpful too when they came out with that. So when I was first diagnosed, I was actually like exclusively on finger pricks and injections for like the first couple of months. So kind of all manual. And then I got on an insulin pump and finger pricks, and I did that for a while. And then I think 3 years ago, I got the CGM pump like combo, and that was like life-changing. It made my A1C so much better. Just made managing everything a lot easier, and like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll still like whip out an injection or something like that because, sometimes the pump doesn't work. But it really has been really awesome. So yeah, I actually have a tubeless pump. It's called an Omnipod. I change it every 3 days, and I usually wear it like on the side of my legs or the back of my arm, because those are really the only spots I can wear with gymnastics. Exactly. So I used to have to carry around like 3 different monitors. That like looked crazy. And then I think like last year they finally put the app, like all the apps on the phone. Don't let your diabetes be a reason that you don't do something that you love, because like you can still go out there and be successful in anything you want just because you don't have a working pancreas. Like, that's fine, put on.
The Storm men's and women's cross-country teams are officially heading into the postseason. Tim Sedlock spoke with a couple runners for this week's team feature.
Simpson's cross-country team isn't just here to race. Both the men's and women's side bring in memories and friendships that last. The men's team this year is young, but senior Cole Leggett says the depth they have makes things exciting.
So this year we are pretty young. There's only 2 seniors on the team, and I think we have a lot more depth than usual from the 5th runner to the 12th runner, and we just have a revolving door. So our 4 through pretty much 15 have been different every single time. That's a good problem to have when we're all pretty talented.
That same energy runs through the women's team too. They continue motivating each other every day. Friendships are the reason they keep showing up.
The team motivates me because it's all my friends. It's good to go see them at practice and just do something together, I will admit, running in the summer by myself, it's not very motivating when you're not with other people. So just the other people to bring us closer together.
At the conference meet, senior Cole Leggett and sophomore James Johnson led the team to place 4th. On the women's side, all 7 of Simpson's top runners finished under the 25-minute mark. This is the first time it's happened all season, and it really shows the improvement of the team. For SCTV, I'm Tim Sedlock.
The Storm will look to qualify for nationals at the regional meet on the 15th in Waverly. Now, let's move on to this week's fun feature with Darian Konrad.
My name is Darian Konrad, and today I will be asking random Simpson students random questions. If you had a pet squirrel right now, what would you name it?
Ooh, probably Theodore.
Why?
Because I feel like that's a very squirrel name. Just a little squirrel running around named Theodore? Yeah.
Acorn.
Why?
I think Acorn's a great name for a squirrel.
I'd probably name it James or something basic, because then I think that when you talk to it, it'd be extra funny if you had a human name.
Franz.
Why?
That's the first thing that came in my head. Franz, very German. I think squirrels give German vibes.
If you could have any celebrity as your best friend, who would you choose?
Jason Momoa. Why? It's Jason Momoa.
Great question. I would say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson just because he's a guy. I don't know, boy.
What's your most used emoji and why?
My most used emoji is probably the one where it's down face and then a little teardrop, because half the time I don't know what I'm doing, but I look like I do know what I'm doing.
If you had to wear one color for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Actually, I think brown matches my hair the most.
Black.
Why?
Because it goes with everything.
The Storm women's soccer team hosted a thriller in the first round of the American Rivers Conference tournament this weekend. Let's take a look at some highlights with Jackson Urban.
Simpson women's soccer took on Luther in the first round of the ARC Conference tournament. This was an absolute thriller, and Simpson ultimately came out on top. These two teams gave everything they had for 96 minutes. Luther was playing lockdown defense in the first half. Luther's goalie Elizabeth Kuyoff had 10 saves on the game to Simpson's 3 saves. Luther did strike first in the 21st minute to make it 1-0. The Norse went into half with this lead. However, Luther allowed 2 goals, one in the second half and one in overtime, while Simpson allowed just the one in the first half. Now let's look at the player of the game, Ali Hoffa. Hoffa scored both goals for the Storm, and Brissa Valadez assisted her on both. Hoffa was attacking all night with 7 shots on goal. It was only a matter of time before she snuck a couple past the goalkeeper. Her first goal came in the 66th minute, and the second one came in OT in the 96th minute. That marks her 13th goal and 6th game winner of the season. Simpson women's soccer is 19, 18, and 4 all time in the playoffs heading into the semifinals of the ARC Conference Tournament this year. The Storm will play in the semifinals on Wednesday, November 5th against the number 2 seed, Loris. With SCTV, this is Jackson Urbon.
You can always check out all Storm scores in the Simpsonian and on SimpsonAthletics.com.
That's all we have for you this week, but make sure to tune in next week for an update on the mold in Maryberry. I'm Rob Howes.
And I'm Kennedy Moore.
Roll Storm!